Well, it's not often I have to record a follow-up and a correction to a video. But let me turn on the other light here. All right, so here's what's going on. So the last video that I posted about recording a VST directly to a track, I thought it was a change, and somebody misinformed me that it was a change in Studio One 6.5. It wasn't a Personas person. So I went with that and I created the video, the last video. But what I did do is I did find a workaround in case you have that issue. But thanks to an awesome user that left a comment in the comments area of the last video, they pointed me to the real cause of the issue. And a lot of this is if you're going to switch back from the Dolby Atmos mixing and going back again, because one of the things that happens is the dropout protection selection changes when you use some of those features. So let me actually get into this. And if you're sorry for the jerky video here, I'm in a very dark room. Before we get started, if you could, please like this video, subscribe to my channel, or become a member. Help support me financially. I'd really appreciate it so that I can keep doing these informative videos. At least I hope they're informative for many of you. All right, so now if we go to the classroom, here's the cool part. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do the same setup that I did last time. And I am going to bring in presents. I am going to select my bass. And it's going to load. It loads a little slow on my machine. This is all. I've only got 8 gig of RAM on this machine. All right. Okay, perfect. We have sound. I can go ahead and just hit the monitor button. I have no idea what I'm playing there. And so everything works here. So now watch this. If I go ahead and I create an audio track, I'm going to call it bass. I'm going to make it stereo because my plugin is stereo, and I'm just going to click OK, and there we go. Now watch closely as I work this here. So now one of the things that we did before is we went here and we chose the input option for the audio track. It's instruments. And I have a presence instance open. There we go. So now, with that, actually, with the monitor turned on, I can now arm the track. I'll show you what I did in a second here. Let's make sure that it works. So we're just monitoring the top track, and we're actually recording to this track. Here we go. Okay, so God, that was terrible. So there we go. It worked. But why didn't it work last time? Well, here's one of the things that happened with all of my testing of the Dolby Atmos and changing all of my device block sizes and everything like this. I made one tiny error when I didn't check for something in order to do this. I don't know why this happens. Just like I said in the last video. But if you are in the processing and you have the dropout protection turned to minimum, does it still work? It still works. Bang, bang. If you have the dropout protection set to medium, boom, it shuts off. Now, this has a lot to do with the hardware monitoring options and the green Z and everything like that. So, the cure for that, for this issue, is if you're going to run dropout protection, let's see, does it work in low? Let's try low. Yeah, see, it works in low. So you can't go higher than low dropout protection in order to get this to work. Now, see, for me, this is cool because I'm never going to forget this now. Because I know that I figured this out one time before working with a friend of mine. And that is the solution. Now, for those of you who know me and know my machine and everything, it's not very high powered, only 8 gig of RAM, but it is an M1 Mac Mini. I usually run off. just like that. I usually run the dropout protection and off, and I keep my device block size at 256. That gives me really good touch when I'm actually doing VST instruments, and I can mix, several tracks and several VST instruments with no problem. But that is the solution. Yay! So thank you to the user that actually popped that in there. I'll see if I can get his name from the comments area, and I'll put it in the description. But that was the clue. So I was incorrect in stating and in being informed that it was a change in 6.5. But I should have known that too. But I had totally forgotten about needing to have the dropout protection less than the medium. So you can do it in low, you can do it in minimum, or you can turn it off like I do, and you will have the ability to bounce the tracks or to record the tracks in real time as you go. So you can just open up, like I showed in the last video, one instrument and everything like that. So if you remember what the workaround was, if that didn't work, you could actually go to the instrument and use the live input and choose all inputs, and you could actually put that in record. There you go. So that makes a whole lot more sense. So you do have a workaround if you have to use the dropout protection, and you have the normal way of doing it, which does work, and it was not a change in Studio One 6.5. So thank you very much for flushing out what the issue was. And I do appreciate it for all of my users and all of my subscribers and stuff. Thank you guys for really keeping in touch and really watching this stuff. I'm not always right, and sometimes I take the first, just like the mainstream media, I take the first thing I hear and flash it out to everybody sometimes. So I've got to be a little bit more careful. So if you have any comments, please leave. Did I just get political there? Shame on me. Psh. So go ahead and leave me a comment in the comments area if you have any thoughts on this, why it works that way. I don't know the exact reasons, but I do know that it has something to do with the hardware monitoring and going through it all. All right, so that will do it for me, and stay tuned for the next video. See y'all then.